Morning. Well, we've gone from nice dry frosty weather to 2 days later, is it? It's Tuesday today. It's pretty much rained all night and we're flooded out again. So that was the end of that. The fields all flooded down behind that shed, and it's obviously pouring over the road because the culvert's blocked. There's finally someone turned up from the council. I think I don't know whether it's by chance or whether it's because my auntie's complained, but someone's turned up. But they've brought a drain jetter and one of these drain suckers, and he reckons he's going to clear it, get it running. I mean, the pipe is maybe 10 inches, 12 inches at the most, and you should see the amount of water. I don't know if I can go down there in a minute and film it. The amount of water running over the road is like 3 of those pipes worth. So he reckons he's 90% sure that once he gets it unblocked, it'll take all the water. There's not a chance in hell it'll take all the water. You can see that just from with your eyes. You know, there's a river running over the road, and the pipe is still actually running. Yeah, it's not running as fast as it should be, but half the pipe is running. So yeah, I think he's a bit deluded, but at least if he has an attempt to get the pipe running clear, he can go back and tell him that it needs a new pipe, it needs a bigger pipe, because it definitely does. Anyway, I'm going to the butcher's this morning, taking one of these heifers, so I won't feed them. I'll lock them back and then load him, and then I'll feed them after I've loaded. But I've just got to go and put my trailer back on. Got my tyre on the spare wheel last night, so my mate put it on. So I've got my spare wheel back for this trailer, and we're good to go. I think it's got all the decks down in it at the moment though, so I'll have to well, I might do that now. I'll have to go in and lift all the decks up, and then what I'm thinking of doing is put my hurdles on, sheep hurdles on, and when I'm on the way from the butcher's I might call in, check the store sheep, and I might round them up, and I've got some fluke and wormer to run through them, so that's my plan anyway. So we'll get the sheep decks folded up out of the way. Get this cow loaded up. It's going to be a bit front heavy, this trailer, with the cow locked in the front and the sheep hurdles on the front, but I don't lock the cow in the back because that might be a bit hairy to tow. So right, let's see if I can put this camera somewhere. See, it's gone down from here to there since we've unlocked it. Right, well, I made it back. I've just had my lunch. Took the animal to the butcher's, which was fine. It was a bit late getting there, but made it there and back. And yeah, I'm just having a look, because I've got too many really in this end pen. They're a bit crammed in there, and I wouldn't have said they're doing overly well because of it, and they're hard to keep clean really. I've got two. These two black and white ones are both heifers, black and white heifers. And then there's a black and white bull over there. We got, I think this whole bunch actually came from a farm. Oh, came from one farm that were trying to just sell they were like block carving a load of in-calf cows that they just bought. And we bought a whole bunch of the calves off them. I mean, we wouldn't normally buy black and whites really, but he just said, I've got these 2 black and white heifers. And he didn't want a huge amount for them, so we said, yeah, we'll have them. But they're at the point now where they're getting near, they're almost a year old. So they're like bull in heifer age really, so I'm not going to be AIing them. So they want selling really. So but they're in a bit of a state as they are. They want tidying up, and they want the muck cleaning off them and just tidying up a bit, and then maybe taking to some sort of a dairy sale. So what I was thinking was maybe I might take these 2 back down to the warehouse. I know it seems a bit backwards, but to the calf shed where they'll have a bit more space, and I can maybe put the crushing down there, and I can just catch them and maybe tidy them up and clip them a bit, maybe, I don't know, in the next week or 2 anyway. But that would solve the problem of that pen being too tight, because if I got rid of only 2, the rest would be alright in there. But then again, I've got one out of here, so there is a bit of room in there. I just can't decide what's the best thing to do. There's not really enough in that pen. There's plenty in that pen. There's still 2 that were in this group down in the warehouse, which could maybe come up. I can maybe have a right jiggle about, maybe put 2 in there with them. But I don't know. I just don't like mixing. I just don't like mixing cattle around, mixing ages and groups, because I'm scared of them fighting each other. I've had some bad experiences. Anyway, I'll have a think about it. And then I think I'm going to drop that trailer off and go back to where my digger was and have a look. I want to just see what it's like in daylight. I've got another couple of little digger jobs to do there. I've got to dig a bit of an outlet trench for a pond, so I need to take my other buckets up there and yeah, maybe just have a tidy up of that muck pile. So I'm just going to spread a bit of this silage to them to put them on. I'll try and allot the silage so that they all finish their eating at the same time, because if we leave that there and give them a new bale, they'll just stand there bawling, because you can't guarantee that the stuff that they're going to get next is the same as that. It might be better or it might be worse, so it's easier just to give them all the new bale at the same time, and there can be no jealousy then. Cow politics, you see. Bigger wheelbarrow, really. Like a good Christmas present, that, wouldn't it? Be lovely. Everyone would be well jealous. Either that or a bucket grab for the JCB. mean, it sounds stupid, but I find it really difficult to think of a good way of moving silage around the yard without spilling it, because it just I use me like my muck fork at the moment, but you just end up dropping it on the floor, and as soon as it hits the floor it's all covered in mud. Concrete yards would be nice. Maybe a bucket grab, so you could just grab bits of silage, and you know, you could grab a lump of silage and crowd it back, and then in theory you wouldn't drop any on the floor, but somehow I can't see that being overly effective. But so concrete yard as well, so it's quite a big Christmas list. So don't tell me that you can't think of anything. Take back everything I said. All the water's gone. Unbelievable, really. Yeah, once we got that manhole up, it was down. You can see it's down there somewhere. It was. It became very obvious what the blockage was, but yeah, all of that was underwater. As I suspected, the problem was in the manhole, because the pipe goes under the road, opens out into a manhole, and then the manhole was just full of all sorts. It was full of roots. It was a massive, great big clump of roots right in the middle of the manhole, and then all sorts of sticks. I think there was 2 or 3 plastic pots. Had all wedged, in front of the lump of roots. So I mean, I jumped down in it with my waders, and there was some hell of a torrent of water coming through once I unlodged all the debris. coldest night we had. The morning after that, oh, I know I was moaning in a couple of in my last video that things being frozen, but that morning it was way worse. Everything was frozen. I think 3 of the 4 chicken sheds were frozen up. The calf shed, all the sink, and well, even the troughs in the middle of the calf shed were frozen. They weren't running. Top yard, all the pig drinkers, everything. So yeah, it was a bit of a mammoth task that morning. Luckily Dan was here that day, my brother, so it wasn't, we whipped around it alright in the end. Just had to take the heater from one place to another and just keep moving around and defrosting everything. It's a lot less stressful with 2 people, because one of you can just keep plodding on with the jobs and the other person can keep defrosting pipes. So otherwise it would have probably taken me all day. So this was where I was spreading muck the other night, and this field here travelled lovely. I mean, this, to be fair, this is probably the, it's slippy up here. This is the driest field I've got. It's on a bit of a bank and it goes right, and there's a ditch, a fast running brook right at the bottom. Oh, struggling to get up here. Come on. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I didn't. This little triangle here, I drove up once or twice, I think, but it's always like a bog. It's mad. This bit of field here, this triangle, is probably some of the wettest ground we've got, and then the other side of those trees, that bit on the bank, is probably the driest bit of ground we've got. And then my big field over here is somewhere in the middle. It's normally not too bad to travel on. So yeah, the bit that I filmed before my battery died, it was going lovely, and then second to last load, well, I'm just seeing this in daylight for the first time. I better show you because it's a bit embarrassing. But yeah, I had a couple of loads left once I finished those little fields, and I thought I'll come through onto here because I know I haven't spread any on this side of this big field. Christ, there's some grass on here. It's going to need some sheep before the spring. But look at this. What a mess. What a bloody mess. This one here, I travelled up that one and it travelled fine. I spread a whole load from the bottom right up to the top. Second load, I come up here, and before the ruts were here, I travelled up there fine. Third load, I got to here and it just stopped. And as soon as it broke through the crust on the top, it just sunk in. And I basically had to back up, and then I tried to come up here. I thought, well, I've already driven on there, so it should travel, and it didn't. It's like I broke through the crust the first time, and so the second time it was having none of it, and it just dug in. What a bloody mess. yeah, it's going to take a bit of levelling out. It might be best to come with a digger, but obviously I'm not doing it today. When the puddles disappear a bit, I think. Level it off with a digger and then harrow it or roll it or something. But yeah, Christ, there's some grass. If we'd had the weather, we could have got another cut off this field, I reckon. But yeah, I think I've got muck on almost all of it now, because there's a road gate there which is nearer home, and I've spread across this field near enough to here, so I've probably near enough done it. The only bit I haven't done is that square up in the top corner by the road, because that is like a bog. I couldn't even get on there really to spread in the summer, because it was a bit ropey mowing in that corner. It just never really dried out. So anyway, my job for today is I'm going to there's a ditch along that fence there. Basically is where I've been doing my fencing job earlier in the summer, and if you remember, before we put the fence up, I dug the ditch out from there to there. So now we're in my field, which is the other side of the hedge. So the ditch, basically, it runs into those woods, and then in those woods is a pond, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a bit that needs digging out in between the end of the ditch and the pond, which I dug out years ago, but it's all crumbled in because I only dug it out with a narrow bucket. It's crumbled in and it's blocked up again. So I need to dig that out again, and then I might just need to dig a bit of an outlet for the pond to get in towards the motorway, because there's drains all along the side of the motorway, and it just sort of seems to disappear. I can't imagine that there's any chance that this digger will start. If it did, I'm going to be very surprised. So I did remember to bring a jump lead. Unbelievable. So it won't charge, having been sat in a shed on charge for 3 days, yet it was out in the frost. It's been sat outside for 3 days after that frost, and it's just fired up. I suppose it's just its temperature, current temperature, I suppose. Right, I was going to have a look at this where I'd had this muck tipped up. I thought it might want tidying up a bit with the digger, but it's actually not too bad. I might just leave it. If I need to, I can come and tip muck here again if I feel that way inclined. I'm dead chuffed with how that field travelled. I've got a good layer of muck across the whole lot, and I don't think it's done any damage at all. So I just need to get that bucket on the digger. So I think I'll bring the digger to it, leave the Land Rover here. Well, we've made it to where I want to be. Finally, made a little bit more difficult by the fact that my neighbour, well, my landlord, who owns this block of land, has tipped about, I don't know, 500 tonne of soily rubble in the way. I mean, this whole wood, there's a couple of acres of wood here in the corner of this plot of land that I want, and it's all been tipped. It's all just rubble, dirty rubble. I think he's been tipping in here for decades. Anyway, I found where I wanted to be. This is the pit that takes the water from. If you look, you can just about see, that's the field where I've been doing all the fencing. That's the fence line just coming along there, and then there's a little bit where I've dug out from the end of the ditch into this pond, and it all just needs re-digging out, which I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do, because I don't know whether there's actually a way of me getting around there with all this water. But anyway, I dug an outlet here which goes off down to the motorway. I mean, going back a couple of years ago, and actually I'm surprised that it is actually still trickling out, but obviously this pond I want it to be a lot lower, because it's like as high as the level of the field really at the moment. So I'm going to try and clear this waterway out a bit to try and lower the level of the pond, and then I'll have to see if I can get round the outside and then clear that bit out. So yeah, it's all fun and games. But yeah, I had to dig my way in because it was hard work getting over that mound of rubble. I'll put my camera down, do a bit, otherwise it's going to end up being a long video. Well, I've got that bit cleared out. It needs digging again. Just where it leaves the pond. It's already dropped about a foot, this pond. And I've managed to get round the outside of it. This is the ditch that I dug out, but it comes to here and stops. He's tipped a load of rubble here. I think originally there must have been a ditch that went off down there, down the side of the field. Which, to be fair, reinstating that would not only solve this problem here, but it would probably solve that problem, you know, where I got stuck with the spreader, because the water seems to pool there with nowhere to go, and if this ditch went all the way along right down to the bottom, it would take all that water away. But that's a big job really, job for another discussion for another time. In the meantime, I'm just going to dig this cut through out here a bit deeper and a bit wider, so that all this ditch water can go into that pond, and then it can go down there towards the motorway drain out the way. It's a bit of a short-term fix, but well, let's hope it doesn't flood the motorway. Let's get the hell out of here. I don't think there's a lot more to do. I think that will let most of that ditch water out. There is a bit of sheep wire in the ditch there. I don't know whether it's worth trying to pull that out. Yeah, it's quite a lot of water up that ditch. Oh well, we made it home. I'll have to go back and have a look, see at that water, see how much it's dropped in a day or two. So yeah, anyway, that's that job done. Brought the digger home. Mark would be relieved because he was very worried there wasn't a great deal of antifreeze in the water. But it doesn't seem to have done any damage, leaving it out in the frost. But so yeah, I'll get it back in the shed now, and I'll tick that job off the list. Tomorrow's job probably be I was hoping to get to it today. I was hoping to go and worm some one my store lambs, but it might be tomorrow or it might be the next day, I don't know. But anyway, I'll end this video here. Bit of an odd one, just bits and bobs messing about. Probably way longer than I intended it to be, but there you are. Don't know why I bother watching, really. Don't know what I'm doing or why I do it, so yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.